Hey guys, it's Lee. So today we have a happy, sad happenstance. These people at this house in Tampa have done a really great job of creating a nice pollinator garden in their front yard. Unfortunately, the house is going to be razed. It's prepped to be demolished, but I lucked out able to talk to the general contractor who let me talk to the demolition contractor, and he said, sure, you can come in, you can dig up whatever you want, just get it done by such and such a date. So that's what I'm doing. I'm here digging up some pollinators, some annual, some perennial, but also I got some nice azaleas and a big porterweed and a couple other things out of the deal. So keep your eye out when you see a house being demolished or scheduled to be demolished. Don't be afraid to stop and chat with the GC or the demolition contractor and say, hey, do you mind if I go over with a bucket and a little elbow grease and get me some free plants? Digging these up, sometimes you can just grab a plant and pull, and get enough roots and soil to transplant. Like that right there, that'll probably transplant pretty well. A lot of this will die back before that root generates and gets hold and regenerates a new plant. But I'll try to do this one-handed. If you get you a good shovel, a good spade, and make a couple chops to the root zone first, you'll generally end up with a greatly sufficient amount of dirt to transplant, and they'll take off growing right away. If you bring a couple pots with you, you can put a dozen, there's probably over a dozen plants in here, and try to keep the root balls intact. The bigger plants like the azaleas, you're gonna have to bring some big pots like that. And sometimes it's not even worth it, because you end up having to chop off so much of the root system to get it in that pot that you lose more dirt, and it's more detrimental than it would be if you just took it home and got it in the ground. Also, a thing to consider, make sure you're not bringing home unwanted specimens with you when you do this. Now this is okay, this is a spider plant, but I don't want it at my house. A lot of people would like that, but I don't want it at my house, so I'll take that out of the root system and dispose of it before I put it in the ground. But I'm not going to do it here because I don't want to lose a bunch of dirt. Some of your plants are going to be a lot easier to dig than others. For example, the porterweed. The porterweed, this is a big porterweed, and I almost question, why am I bothering with this porterweed, because I could probably buy one for $8 and it'd be this big in 2 years. But anyway, I hate to see these big mature plants get bulldozed. That porterweed in that pot, there's Mr. Monarch. So that plant I just showed you in that pot came out of this hole, and all that was 4 straight down slices with my pony shovel. Now what's much more difficult to dig are these azaleas. This was actually one azalea, but the dirt ball was a little too heavy, and my old shoulders wouldn't handle it. I don't have any equipment here, so I once I dug it up, I sliced that root ball in half just so I could move it over to the truck. But these are very difficult to dig because the roots are very woody and very difficult to chop. Now, of course, what's going to make it possible on plants like this is a good pony shovel. See, this is a commercial grade pony shovel that's actually sharpenable. You can sharpen the end with a grinder. As you can see, this pony shovel's, it's put in its fair share. And it's a solid fiberglass handle. It's I'd say it weighs about 7-8 pounds. So, it kind of does a lot of the work for you. So, moral of the story, sorry about the video and sound. I don't have a tripod or a microphone here, but moral of the story is, next time you see a house that's being demolished, stop by and check with the contractor, the demolition contractor or the general contractor, and say, hey, do you mind if I dig those plants out before you come in with the bulldozer? It might be you might get a truckload of free plants out of it. Hey, all have a good day. Happy gardening.